Should you buy the new Yamaha Revstar Standard? It's a great guitar under $1,000 with 2 P90 pickups. I'll tell you everything you need to know to make the right decision. Hey, it's John from Play and Trade Guitars, and if you like new guitar reviews and informative buyer's guides, hit subscribe and join this community of guitar players. You'll be glad you did. The Yamaha Revstar Standard has recently been reimagined. It's super affordable, and it's got a palette of great switchable tones via these 2 P90 pickups, a 5-way selector switch, and this aggressive push-pull, which you'll hear in the demo. I've got a full demo today, which means I'm gonna put this guitar on the bench and pull it apart. We'll talk full bench specs before I plug it in, and that's my favorite part. I'll plug it in and play it. And then at the end, I'll give you my raw, honest reaction to playing this guitar along with a final score. When you spend your hard-earned money on the guitar, I want you to make the right decision. And I've got also a comparison shopping guide to make the decision a little more sensible for you. All right, and if you are shopping for any gear, click to buy new gear using my link. It's a win-win. You'll get fast free shipping and easy payment plans. No interest payment plans. They're super easy to get new gear, trust me. And you help me make these videos, so it's a win-win all around, and I really appreciate your support, and thank you for doing that. Without further ado, let's check out the new Revstar Standard from Yamaha. All right, here we are, Yamaha headstock bound gloss finish. Now you've got a beautiful rosewood fretboard with these mother of pearl kind of pill-shaped inlays, jumbo stainless steel frets, bound rosewood fretboard, and check this out, you got a carbon fiber reinforced neck. It's even got a volute here, and that is a really sharp feel. It doesn't feel like anything else, but it's a very smooth kind of satin experience with carbon fiber in there as well. Now the body is gonna be mahogany, but it's chambered, and you have a maple top. There is a slight little kind of bevel here to the body. And as you can see, it's kind of SG-esque. It's kind of inspired by some of the, I think, SA series they were called from Yamaha in the 70s and 80s. And so it's kind of a traditional looking guitar. It's not crazy. It's kind of familiar if you're into like a Gibson SG, for example, or some other guitars like that. The nut reads 1.64 inches, first fret 0.83 inches, up to 0.93 inches at the 12th. Cool mother of pearl inlays here on a rosewood fretboard and a bound fretboard as well. This is a maple top on a chambered mahogany body. Let's go ahead and turn over these P90s. You'll see basically it's a traditional inspired P90 pickup. This has Alnico 5 magnets in it, and it's screwed directly into the body itself. You can see the same here on the neck. And then let's talk about the switching. You've got this extra push-pull to give you a more aggressive tone. You got a standard volume, and then even though there's only 2 P90s, you have a 5-way selector switch, and that's because position 1, 3, and 5 will do exactly what you expect, bridge, both, and neck. But then positions 2 and 4 will give you out of phase tones. In terms of the multimeter, this P90 and bridge reads 7.9, as does the neck. And I'll show you this tailpiece. This is kind of interesting. So I flip this over. It's actually held in place under spring tension on the front end. And so that makes it slightly height adjustable, and then it's just resting against felt pads on the bottom, held in place with these machine screws. Flipping the guitar over, this is pretty interesting. The guitar did weigh actually a little heavier than I thought, 8.7 pounds. But check this out, we got this carbon fiber neck. Yes, you heard that right. And it's even got this little volute here, but this is a carbon fiber reinforced neck. The tuners feel very smooth, I like the tuners a lot. Let's take a look under the control cavity cover. You got this big transformer, like straight up old school transformer thing in here. And then you can see that pretty complicated switch for those additional 2 positions on that 5-way switch. All hand wired otherwise. So I dug the neck, it was comfortable to play. Why don't we talk other comparable guitars before we plug it in? I'll show you some affordable options and some higher end options if you want to spend a little more and get USA made quality. These are made in Indonesia, high quality. I can't fault anything with the construction so far, but let's check out some other options before we plug in. All right, here's the Revstar Standard at $929 in Sunset Burst. You can use my link to check out all the great finish options. Some of these are really cool. You got Swift Blue, Sonic Blue. You can check all those out. Now they also have a Revstar Standard with a fixed tailpiece, and the important distinction about the one I'm showing you today, if I back up for a second, is that this one has this kind of retro looking tailpiece, whereas the other version at the same price, the RSS 20, without the T in the name, will just have a standard fixed tailpiece. So you can choose either option. I just thought we'd check out this pretty cool metallic tailpiece and see what the deal was today. Now, if you want to go affordable, you have at $599 the Revstar Element. So the Element is going to have humbuckers instead of P90 and these dot inlays, and unbound fretboard. But as you can see, it's still the Revstar shape. And I think this looks really sharp. If you want to go really nuts, you can get neon yellow if you're brave, but you'll certainly be making a statement. $599, super affordable. Now I'm going to compare those to a couple other brands. So let's check out Epiphone with the Joe Bonamassa. This is going to be a full-bodied Les Paul Standard with 2 P90 pickups. These are Epiphone P90s. But even better, if you want to go with the Gibson Custom 1960, now you are getting a double cut like the Revstar, under $1,000 at $999. But this is going to sport a true Gibson headstock on an Epiphone. It's going to sport mother of pearl dot inlays, 2 Gibson USA P90 pickups, which is a big deal, and a hard shell case. The Revstar has a nice gig bag, but no hard shell case. Now, if you want to spend a little more for US made quality, you can go with the Gibson Les Paul Special with 2 P90s. It's similar in the sense that it has 2 P90s. It's different in the sense that it's a slab mahogany body, whereas the Revstar has that maple cap and chambered mahogany. Now, probably even more comparable, and one of my absolute favorite production guitars from Gibson USA is the SG Special. This would probably be more comparable, and I really love this guitar. Vintage Cherry is classic, but Ebony is just mean looking, and that guitar is a beast with 2 Gibson P90s. $15.99, that's one of the best deals going from Gibson USA, and it comes with a hard shell case. I absolutely love this guitar for a little bit more money. But here's another brand you should consider if you're into the Yamaha kind of out of the box, out of center kind of look. How about Reverend? Check this out. This is pretty comparable, is it not? The Reverend Reeves Gabrel's Dirt Bike Royale electric guitar, $11.99 in feline gray, which is just an incredible color. Or you can get it in red, which is just super sharp. But look at how comparable it is in terms of the body shape. And you have 2 P90 pickups. I think it's pretty clear that this would be a direct comparable guitar for just a couple hundred more bucks at $11.99. This looks like a sweet deal. And Reverend has incredible quality, control standards, and I think would be very comparable in the same price range here. You can also check out the Reverend Sensei Jr. if you just want 1 P90. And you know, that rounds out kind of the other guitars that I want to show you. I think any of those would be good, but what's cool about the Revstar is that it makes a statement. I think not only the body shape, and I like the headstock, and I like also how the horns and the headstock go at complementary kind of reverse angles, which is really cool. And the rosewood, the jumbo frets, stainless steel, you have these high-end features on a guitar. And let's just talk switching for a second. So you've got the switching, you've got this push-pull kind of thing that pushes it into a more aggressive tone, as you'll hear, kind of like an overwound pickup, Yamaha says. And then a 5-way selector, which has your traditional 3 selectors that you would expect, plus a couple out-of-phase sounds, which you'll hear in the demo coming up as well. So it's that time to plug it in, but I'll remind you, if any of those pique your interest, or if you're shopping for any gear, click to buy new gear using my link, or scan this QR code if you're watching on a TV. You get fast free shipping, and it's the no interest payment plans that makes buying a new guitar like this super easy. Let me show you something right here. You can do a 12-month no interest payment plan, $77 a month, and this guitar is yours. And that is amazing. And they even have free 1-day shipping, right? I mean, how cool is that? All included, use my link. All right, let's get ready to plug in. I'm gonna show you clean tones, we'll dirty it up, and then I'll let it sing behind a track. This time, since I actually just reviewed a Gibson guitar with 2 P90s, I just reviewed the Noel Gallagher Les Paul Standard with 2 Gibson P90s. I'm gonna use the same Oasis-inspired backing track. So if you wanna go between those 2 videos, you'll hear me ripping over the this Oasis-inspired track first with the Gibson if you go and watch that video, and now you'll hear me rip up with the Yamaha Revstar. 2 P90s in action, comparing kind of Yamaha's take on P90s to Gibson. So that's super cool. Drop a comment as we go, and I'll remind you one more time, hit subscribe, join this community. I got tons of new guitar reviews coming at you all the time. I'll see you on the other side for my raw, honest reaction and final score. Drop a comment as we go. Let's get plugged in and have some fun. think? You stuck with me to the end, so I'm gonna give you my final score. I base it on 3 categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. Hit subscribe if you haven't, and if you're in the market for this or any other gear, click to buy new gear using my link. It's super easy, or scan this QR code. All right, let's talk first about playability. The only real detractor I have is that it was a tad heavy for what I expected, considering its chambered body. It was 8.7, 8.8 pounds. So a little bit heavier than I expect, but not terrible. The guitar was super comfortable to play. This carbon fiber composite neck feels super smooth. It's kind of like a satin-esque finish. It was amazing. The jumbo frets make bending really easy. It makes digging in on chords super easy. Rosewood was super luxurious. I like the binding. And also the tuners felt really high quality and easy and nice and smooth to use. So from a playability standpoint, I got no qualms. I thought that using the aggressive switch here to go and do the kind of pull-push thing was super easy to get to. There was nothing in the way. And we'll talk sounds. I do think probably this metallic tailpiece lended a little bit of airiness, or I don't want to say metallicness to it, but maybe, yeah, that's the word for it. But we'll get to sounds. But from a playability standpoint, double cutaway, easy to get around. I could fly on this guitar, get everywhere I wanted, dig in on bends, and it stayed in tune like perfectly, actually exceptionally well. Great construction. I got no qualms on playability. I really enjoyed playing this guitar. Jumbo frets made it even easier. I'm gonna give this a high score of 9.2 on overall playability. It was really good. Let's talk sounds. I'll tell you, I like P90 sounds. Actually, I love P90 sounds. I think out of the gate, my impression of these Yamaha P90 pickups, I probably prefer Gibson P90s. However, this is a fraction of the price of the last guitar I just played, the Noel Gallagher, which is a $3,000 guitar. So for under $1,000, looking at a guitar with 2 P90s, which not only gives you the traditional P90 tones, but also the out of phase with the additional positions of 2 and 4 on the 5-way selector, and this extra pull-push switch, I thought that was a fun palette of tones to play with. The guitar is super resonant, unplugged. It really does shine. And I've got to acknowledge this tailpiece. So there's 2 versions of this guitar, as I said. There's the version of this guitar at the same price with just a fixed tailpiece, or you can elect to get this cool tailpiece. And the only thing you'll look for in the model name is RSS 02 for the fixed bridge, or 02T, T for tailpiece, if you want this cool looking tailpiece here. And I'll tell you, I do think that tailpiece affects the tone. I think it makes the P90 tone a little bit more metallic, a little thinner perhaps, because under tension, the anchor points of strings are going to be super important, and the ball end of the string is anchored directly into this tailpiece, so you're getting that metallic resonance into the tone of the guitar for certain. It's a cool effect. I thought the guitar sounded good. I think Gibson P90s probably sound better. However, I was overall impressed. I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 on overall sounds. I thought the out of phase tones were cool, although not substantially different from the regular tones. So that might be a little bit more gimmick than practical, usable, playable thing, but it's there if you like those extra tones. I wasn't as impressed by the out of phase thing as I was impressed by this. I did like the pull-push aggressive switch. It did quite a bit for the tone that I found very cool. And then finally, value. It's under $1,000. It's got 2 P90s, and I always preaching, you gotta have a guitar with 2 P90s. You gotta have P90 tone, that biting, singing quality in bridge, and that great warmth that you have in neck with the addition of these functional switches. This is a great way to do it under $1,000. I showed you other ways, and those would be cool as well. I think you buy this guitar if you want something different and you want to make a statement. Plus, I don't usually talk about the finishes on a guitar. This finish is absolutely fantastic. One of the better finishes that I've seen ever on Play and Trade. Something about this is just so cool. What do they call this? This is the Sunset Burst. How beautiful is that? And I'm telling you, it's so appealing to me. I can't get over so directionally, right? The horns go this way, and then the headstock goes the opposite way. It's just this really big, like, complementary thing that, I don't know, I'm geeking out about. But I think on stage it just looks fantastic, and it's cool. It makes a statement. And these little mother of pearl pills, I think, are super cool too. So no hard shell case, it's got a gig bag, but overall I'm impressed with this guitar. It does have import quality pots, so like in an Epiphone you will get CTS quality pots. In this you'll have the little mini import pots, so the quality of electronics probably not awesome, but again, for an import guitar under $1,000, let's go ahead and give this a value score of 8.5. So that's gonna bring us to an overall score for the Revstar Standard of 8.7, a respectable high B. I thought this guitar was super cool. There's other great options. If you're more of a traditionalist, you can go with Epiphone, or you can go up with Gibson if you want. And if you want something out of the box, I think you check out this and compare it to that Reverend as well, that Reeves Gabrel is super cool. But I would totally rock this guitar. I would own this just to have something distinctly different, and it makes a statement and it packs a punch. It sounded great. I enjoyed it. What did you think? Would you buy this guitar or would you buy something else? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I'll talk to you there. Shop gear using my link or scan this QR code and hit subscribe. I'm just about to give away this Les Paul. I got it here today. The red Les Paul over my shoulder is going to one of you on December 31st. Yes, someone's gonna wake up New Year's Day 2026 with the knowledge that they won a Gibson Les Paul. There's more than that. Check out my video links for more on that. Shop gear using my link. And until next time, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm John for Play and Trade Guitars. See you next time and keep playing.